Hello, Solar Loon here. How's everybody doing? So this is, in case you don't know, I'm an independent game developer, basically, working on a game. I actually finished the game, and it's available for purchase up on itch.io. The game's name is Gearand. And I wanted to do some stuff to allow for people who don't have as strong PCs to play the game. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Is we're going to be improving the engine I'm using for the game to do downsampling. The engine I'm using already has downsampling on the level of shaders, but we want a downsampling for the entire display, so that if you have a game running at half, like you can basically play the game at full screen or maximized window, but render half the pixels. I think this should be possible. I'll see. Shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. Should be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get some music going firstly. Guitar Man, If I Could Drift Away by Sir Jordanius. It's an OC remix song. I should create a playlist specifically for my streams. That would be nice. Save time on the long run. So this should work. Let's see. Is it working? Let's see. Doesn't say there was any issue. Let's see here. I need shaders, 2D, heavy. Yeah, okay, there is one. Display this. Okay, so it is working. Alright, so the idea, the core central idea is this. Let's see if it shows up. Oh, I didn't actually apply it. I'm I'm wondering why is this not working? Okay, I have to actually apply the shader. Scene.screen shaders.add shader. So what this is going to do, hopefully it won't kill the stream or anything. This is a GLSL shader I wrote that basically its job is just to be heavy. It's just for testing purposes. And what this will do, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. The point of that is basically to simulate what happens when your CPU is waiting on your GPU. There we go. Okay. So what you see here is the profiler for the engine I'm using, BDX. And this category here, GPU wait, this fills up when your CPU is waiting on your GPU to execute. So for example, if you give it too much to do in a single frame, if you give it a particularly heavy GLSL shader, if you have a weak GPU, those things basically mean, yeah, it's waiting on the GPU. It's gonna have to, your CPU is going to wait on your GPU to finish its task before it can send it more data to render. So what we're gonna do, or rather what we can do, what we can see, let's see if I can actually pull this up. This is our heavy shader display. And basically it doesn't really do anything in particular. It just kind of pushes things, makes them kind of yellow. But you see it basically loops through 1,000,000 times per bracket, per pixel on my screen. So this, when it's on, everything goes, it's sucking up everything. Like my computer runs slow, I don't know, it might not, your stream might actually have trouble displaying this. So that's bad. But this, kind of gives the idea and feel of what happens. Turn off, please. Okay, this gives the feel of basically what happens if you have like a weak weak GPU, a huge resolution, whatever the case is, where your GPU has to work harder than usual to output data, and your CPU is then waiting on it. So when this happens, you can see as our windows get smaller, it gets more. The impact is less and less severe. So it's running at 60 FPS now with no issue. But then once we get a little bit bigger, now it drops down to 20 FPS roughly, and GPU's really spiking out. So what we want to do is basically allow us to implement some sort of kind of global display screen shader thing. I'm sorry, global display like downsample value, so that we can have a full screen like this, turn on the shader, have a noticeable hit in quality in terms of, like, you know, it's rendering basically at half resolution, but the FPS should be higher, and we can tweak that according to the game. You know, that would be up to the developer. So that's the idea. This might not be necessary if we can actually, oh man, I can't remember. This might not be necessary if we can actually set this full screen mode along with the resolution, but I don't think that works on Linux at least. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. Let's see. Let me just pull this up real quick. Graphics, full screen. Yeah. Set full screen mode. New display mode. 640, 480. 60. Actually, it might be better to do it like this. Graphics, GDX.graphics, get display mode, and then modify that. Display mode, this one is this. That width, 640. Height, 480, is it not editable? What's that? It's a final, okay. Can we make a new display mode out of an existing display mode? Nope. Okay, so I guess we could do something like this. dm.width, dm.height, dm.refresh rate, dm.bits per pixel. So graphics, I guess we can say just dm equals new graphics at display mode. Protected access. I can't do that. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like I can't do that. Alright. New display. Yeah, okay. There's no graphics dot display monitor. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to see if there's any other way I can do this. Set full screen mode. Get display modes. Okay, so I guess this will get valid display modes. Alright, that might be worth it. Get height, get monitor, get PPI display, primary, get width, is full screen. Okay, get display modes. Alright, so what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do is loop through and find out what display modes are available on my computer, on my monitor rather. Display mode dm in system.out.println dm. This is looking for. Now wait a second. I think I must have imported. Yeah, we don't need this. We're looking for specifically the libgdx display mode. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so it's printing out the available options. 800 by 600, 2460. So basically it looks like this is more or less the available display modes, which is strange because it doesn't list 1920 by 1080, which is what I'm using now. Oh, it's looking at my other monitor. It needs to look at the primary monitor. Let's see, gdx.graphics.get monitor. So it can look through. I guess it wants we want the primary monitor. Oh, that's kind of a guess. Like we can't say that for sure. You might move your. Okay, so this is the only like display mode that it's showing is the one I'm using basically. So that's not great. Let's see, where's my other options? Yeah, I would rather like not do what I think I'm going to end up doing if I can not do it. But I looked it up and I think this is basically what we are going to have to end up doing is doing this kind of global downsampling thing. So we'll see. We'll see if that's necessary, or if what we end up doing. Okay, yeah, so we can try this and see how this works. Alright, so what we're going to do, because yeah, this doesn't seem to be particularly foolproof to determine the available monitor modes. It seems like for my secondary monitor, it was getting some that were correct, or maybe all of them, but for this one, the primary one, that's 1920 by 1080, it just has 1920 by 1080, so we can't use that. We could try just like guessing. I guess we could try that. Let's see. How would I do this? If keyboard. Let's just check this real quick. gdx.graphics.fullscreen mode. Oh, I can't even make a new display mode. Oh, that's right. I can't actually make a new display mode. Let me make sure of that, because I don't want to have to do work if I don't have to. If I can't do, if I have to make a new, if I have to do it how I'm imagining, then yeah, that's fine. But if we can like not have to do this. Yeah, constructing a new one is protected, so that's not going to work. And the fields are final, so we can't modify an existing display mode. Maybe that's just kind of functional stuff to... It's weird, it wasn't updating. Functional stuff to kind of protect against people doing weird stuff. Alright, well, if that's the case, then we'll do it like this. The display is here. This represents our display class. And just hold some stuff like vsync, width, height, all that stuff for our game. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a public vector 2f that represents the, what is it called? Global downsampling. And what this is going to do, what this field is going to do, is basically, if it's not, oh, we want it to be 1 and 1. If it's not set to 1 and 1, then it's going to assume that we want to downsample everything. So the way that the renderer works is we determine first if screen shaders are used, and if so, then that basically says, okay, we need to use a frame buffer. And if screen shaders are in use, then we say, okay, we do need to use a frame buffer, so go ahead and begin the frame buffer and then continue through. Now, if we don't have screen shaders, then we might want to just use the frame buffer and draw it to the screen. And that's basically it. Yeah. That's actually it. It's pretty simple. We'll see if this works. So back up here, right here. There's the possibility that we're using screen shaders, or wait. Oh, okay, right. So this is basically we're using screen shaders, or the render output is being passed through, or display.global downsampling. Let's see, I'm trying to think of a terse way to do this. I guess I could just have a percentage, right? Because you wouldn't want a vector 2f anyway. It could just be a value, a flow. Because you wouldn't want to downsample more on one axis. That's stupid. Okay, we'll just have a flow. And have it be 1. So global downsampling. I didn't type that. Okay. Well, here we go. Alright, so if global downsampling is equal to 1, or is not equal to 1. So basically we're well, I guess actually you can only downsample in one direction. So you can't like upsample using this process. No, I guess you could actually. We could support that. Okay. So if if display.global downsampling is not equal to 1, then we want to use the frame buffer. We render, the frame buffer is in use, we call in, we don't need to do anything here, we don't need to do anything here because we don't have the screen shaders. And then here we say, okay, so let's go ahead and draw the output of the frame buffer, the result, to the viewport. Now, I believe, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. It might be better to have this be, because basically we want to, the frame buffer has a size here. So if we're using a screen shader, we basically use the render to the frame buffer's width and height. And we already have a tip buffer with a render scale. It might be, I'm trying to think of, do I need to add this actually fundamentally? Yeah, I'm trying to think of if we actually need to fundamentally do this in engine. But I think we do, because otherwise we want to render to a smaller frame buffer basically to begin with. So we really want to have a function that controls global downsampling, and when you call it, it changes the frame buffer size. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, let's try that. James Rogers says, "Hey man, hey, how's it going?" So we don't actually want a private global downsampling. That's weird. Bubby McGee says releases game, still working later that day. Basically, yeah. I'm trying to grind on this. Oh, this is why it's supposed to be a flow. Okay. I'm trying to grind on this, trying to get some results. Click void, global downsampling, float, sample value, percentage, I guess would be fine. And we want to set it here. We also want to... Bubby McGee says, I'm gonna buy Gearin as soon as I get some money. Thank you very much. I thank you very much. if you're watching this and you're a fan of Gearin, I actually didn't update my description with that. Actually, if you want to try the demo, it's there. If you want to check out the actual page, it's also here. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I forgot to... I keep forgetting. Okay, I have to do something. But anyway, let me actually type that in so I don't forget. Alright, so... With global downsampling set to this, I'm not sure if I can reach into the frame buffer from here. I can, okay. We want to set that to be a new render buffer. We want to set the width and height. It looks like, yeah, okay, it does this. So we'll just grab this. And also multiply that by global downsampling. I'm not sure if this will work, we'll see. Oh, I guess I need to cast it to an int though. I need to cast this entire thing. Or no, it might actually be fine like that. Look at this here. Nope. Okay, I do need to cast the entire thing. No? What's going on? Expecting an int. It's not ints. Oh, it's turning this into an int, not that. Oh, that's stupid. Okay, so there we go, that's better. There we go, okay. Let's see, Bubby McGee says, where are the advantages of Linux, programming on Linux? Nothing in particular is better with programming on Linux when it comes to just like the stuff I do. If you're the kind of person who's like doing business stuff, like really hardcore stuff, I feel like you might have access to more tools and things and stuff like that. I don't really use a lot of tools. I use like Visual VM. No, I can't remember. Yeah, Visual VM. Yeah, Visual VM for profiling Java applications. I use. Oh, sorry. Somebody said the music's a little loud. That should be better. I use Visual VM for profiling Java applications. I use IntelliJ, which is available on Windows and Linux. So nothing too much. I feel like if you are like more proficient, you probably have advantage to, can take advantage of more tools. But that might not be the case. You might want to ask on like reddit.com/r/programming. James Rogers says, would you recommend going back and learning how to make games without an engine? I started with Unity and I'll be going to university for game development, but I feel like I don't know some fundamentals. Yes and no. No, because I feel like you could get more done rather than like learning how engines work. Like you could get more done with Unity and stuff. But yes, because I feel like I know more than like I feel like I might know more than the average Unity developer when it comes to like how games work. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to put anybody down. It's just Unity is, you know, made to kind of obscure and abstract away the internals and how things work and specifically, which is fine. But you know, I'm learning about like, oh, that would be a cool feature to add. Oh, that's how that works. That's why there's a bug there, etc., etc. So it's like, you know, if you want to just get stuff done, yeah, go ahead and go with Unity or whatever existing tool. But if you want to like learn more about why things work, how things work, what makes something run better, you know, then you might would be more interested in learning like engine development and making a game engine, or working on a game engine, or just looking at game engines in terms of their code. All right, so this idea should be okay. And when we, yeah, this is this. We want to do this. Let's make this a little more appealing to look at. Okay. Okay. Next, we don't need this to be. Oh, it is private. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Bubby says, try making a physics engine. I always make a basic 2D AABB gravity collision system and handle everything without box 2D or anything. It's interesting because AABB like is very simple, but it's very powerful still. Like it's still pretty easy, pretty quick, and you can still use it like very well, even in 3D, like complete 3D games, to do things like, oh, am I underwater? Like that kind of thing is. It might be kind of complex if you use collision and stuff like that, but with AABB, it's just like, yeah, you are or you aren't. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. So the current approach to this. I'm not a fan of using checking for equality with floats and stuff. That could be bad, but it's okay for now because most people are going to be setting downsampling to very finite amounts, like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1. It shouldn't be like, oh, you have like a slider like 1, 0.75, you know, like go up or down like 0.1. Nah, hopefully not. Okay, so let's see. So we're beginning the frame buffer, we're rendering the world, we're calling end on the frame buffer. Okay, alright, that sounds good. Then over here, we probably, so this is basically something that creates temporary frame buffers that exist. And their job is to be kind of like a stopgap or a temporary location to draw what we output from the frame buffer. So like the frame buffer draws the scene, the game scene. And then over here we say, okay, basically for each filter, draw the frame buffer to the temporary buffer using. Wait, this is going to draw to, right? Draw to the destination. Okay. Using the width and height. Using the width and height and the X and Y. So I'm just trying to understand exactly where this would work, how this would work. Okay, filter that overlay. Okay, draw to. All right. So then, render here. Whoops. Because we got in here, so we gotta figure out if. Okay. All right. So we might want to multiply these values by the. No, wait. The viewport, I guess the viewport doesn't change size. We want, let's see. Width and height. Okay, resolution. So yeah, I think I'm getting it, but at the same time I'm like, maybe I'm not. Okay, this is probably the kind of thing where it's just like, it's better to just try and see. this as well. Equals new render buffer. Okay. Render buffer equals. Oh, did I? Okay, I did. All right, that might be it. Let's see. So this would be bdx.display.global downsampling. I guess I could just do downsample. Yeah, let's try that. No idea if this is going to work. Downsample. Oh, whoops. Okay, that actually is working, surprisingly. Slightly. Wait a second. Terminal left. Okay, something just went down. Like went to. Okay, there we go. Terminal. Okay. All right, so it's slightly working. The idea is basically this. It's downsampling, and when we press space, it enables the shader, and it should be heavy and stuff. But at the same time, it shouldn't be too bad. So too bad on the render. So we want to draw it. Let's see. We want the temporary buffer. I guess we actually want to probably destroy the temporary buffer if we do this. For frame buffer in the temp buffers dot values buffer dot dispose. I don't need that. And then available temp buffers dot clear. So it has to make new buffers. Okay. Was that what was causing the issue? Let's see. Nope. All right. But the idea is there. Let's see. So it's drawing the frame buffer to the temp buffer with the width and height of the frame buffer. The temp buffer, render scale X. Okay, so I guess that's probably it. It's just that the render scale, okay, so it's just the entire thing is too big. So we want to basically scale this by times display dot downsample times display dot downsample yeah, render scale actually probably, well, you could actually do something with that. That's okay. Hello, No Life. How's it going? James Rogers says, yeah, exactly. I want to be a game programmer, not a Unity programmer. Even though Unity is my chosen engine, I don't want to be relying upon it per se. Yeah, so I mean, I get what you mean. I mean, if you want, you can definitely learn to be a game programmer by being a Unity programmer. I mean, like, you know, using Unity or using a pre-made engine. It's not like you have to, you know, work in like hardcore, you know, OpenGL stuff to really like get to a good level with game programming. But I do feel like the more easy any engine makes it to make games, the less you know about the process. Which, you know, of course, if it's the simpler it is, the easier it is to just miss things. The easier it is to you know, have the engine handle stuff for you and just kind of like carry you along, which is fine. That's good. But if something comes up where it's like, oh, I don't know why this happens, can you look in the code and understand it? And can you look in the code and you at all. Like, it might not even be open source, which is important when it comes to game development and optimizing and stuff like that. And that's not to say that there's not stuff to do in BDX that's like, there's definitely some stupid things in here that could be improved upon drastically. Okay, so let's see. No Life said, so what exactly makes BDX better than BGE? I wouldn't say it's better. I would say it's better for my purposes. I like that it's more developed when it comes to, I'm sorry, also I'm changing the music. Chiptunes equals Win, a Neura Jam by Amphibious. I like that it's much more developed when it comes to distributing. It's way easier to just be like, oh, let's go ahead and distribute this to run on a someone else's computer. It's simpler, rather than being like, oh, why is this crashing? I don't know. The source code is way smaller. You might look at this and be like, oh man, there's so much code here. It's not very long. It's not even 1,000 lines. It's barely 500. And that's like one of the main heavy hitters of the language. I'm sorry, of the engine. Like, this is another heavy hitter, Scene, and that's 1,000 lines. Like, it's not that long. Whereas Blender, the BGE, like, if you wanted to add a feature, I have no idea how you would start, because it's just like there's so many things spread across so many files. You have to figure out how to add it in Blender, how to add it in the UI, how to add it in the game engine, how to add it. Like, it's so many different pieces. So that's why I like this engine so much, is because it's so simple in comparison. There's not very much there, and this is it. Like, this is basically it. The UI for the Blender parts are in here, and then in here is like the stuff that gets generated for your engine, for your game when you actually go to create your project. So it's just not very much to it. I like that it's relatively simple, relatively smaller, much smaller. More lightweight. It doesn't have nearly the amount of features, but I mean, that's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so it's drawing it's drawing the filter small. It's like in the corner. So let me see if there's something I'm missing there. So it's probably this part gets the render scale. Let's see, let's print out the frame buffer size. $80 by 45. Okay, that's correct. So what's the temp buffer size? Whoops. No Life says, can BDX even render 3D models? Yeah, of course. It's a 3D game engine. Okay, so that's correct. So if it's rendering, the temp buffers are the correct size. The frame buffer is the correct size. So it's drawing the temp buffer, it's drawing the frame buffer, the results of the frame buffer to the temp buffer using a filter. The frame buffer's width and height, which is also the temp buffer's width and height. And then it's drawing the temp buffer back to the frame buffer, which is, if you don't, oh, there we go. This is wrong. Okay. This should be probably the destination's width and the destination's height. There we go. Let's try that. That might actually be it. Better, but well, I don't know about better, but that's not correct either. Let's see. Width and height. Width, height. Draw region. Width, height. Region is this. Let's flip. Okay. Draw this. There. Okay. That sounds right. Okay, so what's system.out print line desk.get width and height. Okay, that's correct. 80 and 45. Alright, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Let's see. So that's rendering, drawing to this. The X and Y should be correct. Filter.overlay. Frame buffer clear. Draw to. And then it's drawing to the screen. Oh, this might be it. Viewport width and height. Draw the screen and frame buffer use. Frame buffer again. Frame buffer use extreme. Okay, that all seems right. Okay, so let's see. Well, wait. This is actually working correctly if there's no shader activated. But once we turn on a shader, then it actually cuts out. So it's really this section right here. This is the, well, this section basically right here, or somewhere in there. This basically is where we're kind of running into issues. So the available temp buffers, let's see, system, what's up the, why did it scroll like that? System.out, print line, available temp buffers. No Life says, I'm back. Java is so alien to me. I like Python more. I used to like Python, but now I like Java more because of static typing, where it's much more clear, like when you, like what exactly is going on. Because it's very easy to like type something in Python and not know what's in there. Like you type something like, you know, player equals a new instance of the player class, and sometimes it won't like be able to tell you, oh yeah, it's the player class, it has this information, it has these functions in it, it has these fields in it. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of duck typing or kind of overriding stuff, and I don't know, I like much more of a strict approach to things. I feel like Kotlin is like a nice mix between Java and more kind of easygoing languages. That's why I'm kind of excited to work with that at some point. Either that or Scala, although Scala looks kind of complex. Let's see, okay. Temp buffer equals, alright, so that's fine. That's fine. I didn't change that much. Is able to get it because it does clear. Frame buffer down. Alright, let's try something real quick. Let's say we don't do anything. Okay, that's correct. So then we say, okay, clear the temp buffer, draw the frame buffer to the temp buffer using the filter, and then let's try drawing the temp buffer to the screen. Temp buffer dot draw to null, and let's see how that works out. Let's cancel that. So now only the now crash. Let's see, 59 here, 59. That's null. Oh, this assumes, oh yeah, it's true. It's possible that there isn't a width and height. Alright. I guess we'll do it like that. That's fine. Because it's the default, so that's fine. We don't need that. Okay, so this is fine. Oh, wait. Okay, I might have figured something out. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, we're getting that little corner, but we want to get the cube. For now, let's just try drawing like this super tight thing so we can see what's going on. Yeah, okay, it's just a square. Wait a second. 400, 300. No Life says Scalin. What is that last one called? Scala. Why is it just like the corner? Can we draw it a little further in? Is it like offset or something? Okay, so it is just the corner. So why is it just the corner? It's because, oh, I must be drawing to the drawing the frame buffer result to the temp buffer. Wait a second. Okay, that's the width and height, yeah. Times downsample, alright. Alright, so let's try this. Draw the frame buffer. Are we still rolling? Okay. I did not mean to do that. Let's see. Alright, so if we draw the frame buffer to the temp buffer and then draw the temp buffer to the screen, then why isn't this working? It's probably something relatively simple. Yeah, okay. What we're gonna do, let's not even deal with the filter. Let's just draw it to the temporary buffer and then write it back to the screen. So we're getting the same little corner. So it's something in here that's not working correctly. Wait. Downsample. Okay, that's right. Beta dispose. Okay, that's correct. This is interesting. This is quite interesting. Oh yeah, but anyway, there's a variety of different Java JVM languages, Java Virtual Machine languages, like Scala, JPython, Kotlin, obviously Java, Clojure, Groovy. So like, there's actually like quite a bit of choice when it comes to working with the Java, kind of virtual runtime environments and stuff. Like what language you choose to run on the runtime environments for your game. I'm not sure about some of them working with BDX just because it's like we haven't really done too much with Java or with other languages, and BDX is mainly a Java engine, but at the same time I am interested in working with other languages, so I feel like it'd be fun to try out different languages with BDX. I feel like that's kind of a draw for me. And that last one, it's not Jade Python, it's J Python, like Java Python. Hasn't gotten an update in a while, I don't think, but it still exists. Okay, so something is making our frame buffer draw really tiny in the corner of the screen. Let's get another song. Let's get Dithering by Asleep Droid. Okay. What did I keep like minimizing things by accident. Okay, let's see. So we got a frame buffer that draws to the temp buffer. And then we got a temp buffer that draws to the frame draws to the screen. If we just draw the frame buffer to the screen, it works. So the problem is literally this line here. Oops. Wait, frame buffer done. Oh! Oh, it was working. It was working, okay. Okay, I think that's correct, actually. So these are basically, this is the same. The only difference is adding that. Okay, and then drawing to that full, and then drawing to that with the full. Oh wait, this is, yeah, we don't want that. Okay, I think that might be it. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Great, that's it. That's what we're looking for. So I'll see if I can actually show you the kind of use of this. Sample plus 0.1f. If you press down, then you want to go down a level. Okay, save. So this is nothing special in terms of like what we're doing here. You see, we press space. I can't even do it, but like basically we press space and you see the FPS drop, right? But if we press down, is it doing it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, okay, you see it. You see it is actually working. So like, as we press down, the quality. Oops. Oops, I didn't expect that. All right, I expected it, but I didn't expect it. I forgot. Okay, but this is what we were looking for. It actually does work. Perfect, 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 perfect. We can actually do a little quick check to make sure that doesn't happen. When we go to set it, we can just say float p equals math.max math.min. Well, I guess there's no max. We just don't want it to be because my theory is basically if you have a higher downsample, it'll render to a larger frame buffer and then smush it down to the screen. So that actually might give you like some kind of smooth approach. I'll have to see. Smoothing thing. So basically we want float dot like min value, I guess, or percentage. And then instead of this we want p. Downsample is p, downsample. Okay, cool. Let's try that. No Life says, you want the frame rate to go down? That's really janky. If you want a slowdown effect, you should reduce the logic steps per second. No, not at all. I want the frame rate to go up. I'll show you what I mean, what this is used for. Okay, so basically, with the filter on, it's simulating a computer under load, a graphics card rather under load. This bar, GPU wait, indicates that our CPU is waiting for the GPU to render the scene. And this is bad because basically our CPU, or our FPS is going down because the computer, the engine, can't continue simulating the game at 60 FPS, not because of render load on the CPU or logic execution or physics or anything like that, but just waiting for the GPU. And you can tell as soon as we turn off the shader, it goes back to being normal. However, if we go ahead and reduce the... Give me a second. Math.max, not math.min. This is the same fundamental thing as shader downsampling. It's just across the entire screen, across the entire game. That's the idea. So basically, with the shader on, it's 30 FPS. With the shader off, it's 60 FPS. Now imagine that the game itself is running at 30 FPS because it can't handle execution. You can press down to downsample. And now it's running at 60 FPS. Make it bigger. It's running at 20, 15. Keep pressing down. And slowly but surely goes back up to 60 FPS. And we're working probably at this point. Let me actually print out our system.out.println bdx.display.downsample. Okay, so now we're running at like, let's see. Yeah, you can see we're running at like 30%, but it's running at 60 FPS now. And now we're running at 40% roughly, and it's at 30 FPS. And as we keep going up, FPS continues to dive. So the idea behind this, the point behind this is basically, imagine you have a laptop, imagine you have something kind of junky. You can reduce the render resolution, the render resolution, and that's the idea. So now it doesn't matter, if you have the shader on or not. So the actual application of this is you have a game that's running poorly on someone's laptop because they can't handle rendering an entire 1080p scene with all of the trimmings and stuff. So they can just reduce the resolution. That's basically what this is. It's just the ability to reduce your resolution without having to sacrifice full screen mode or maximize, not being able to maximize your window. So you can set the window to whatever size you want and then say, but I want it to be downsampled to 50%, or 60%, or 80%, or 10%, or whatever the case is. I think Tekken, I saw an option in Tekken's options menu that had like resolution scaling, and you could see like the UI was like 1080p, but the actual 3D rendering was like 50% the normal resolution. It was like kind of janky, but that allows cheaper, well, not cheaper, but just weaker systems to still play the game at 60 FPS or playably. So that's the idea. I would like to kind of make this a little simpler. It's a little trash right now. Let me see. I'm not a fan of this like floating point stuff. I wish I could kind of do something about that, but I can't really think of anything. I guess I could use like an integer. So like 1 divided by 1, 1 divided by 2, 1 divided by 3. But then you couldn't get anything between 1 and 2. You lose fidelity. That's no good. You couldn't get like 25% resolution downscale. You'd have to go to 50%, 75%, whatever. No Life says, is this for Gearend or a future project? I feel like Gearend should be playable on anything made within the past 10 to 15 years. I wish it were, but it's not. It's not playable. That's why I'm doing different things to make it playable. This is one of them. Gearend, despite the fact that it's a 2D game, it's still a HD resolution game. So it's, it might look simple, but it still is a 1080p game. So like if you can't play a usual 3D game on your laptop at 1080p, then you wouldn't be able to play Gearend either, because fundamentally it's about filling your screen out and stuff like that. So that's part of what this will allow you to do, is to reduce the percentage. Because it's 2D, you probably couldn't really, like, because it's 2D, you probably wouldn't actually see too much of a downside to lowering the percentage, because it's, you know, it's just a 2D game, but it would help. No Life says, my old computer from 2008 played Super Meat Boy just fine, and it looks comparable. I don't think it looks comparable. I think Super Meat Boy, if I recall, can I get a screenshot of the gameplay? Let's see. Trying to see exactly if I have an idea of what they're doing. For some reason, looking up Super Meat Boy does not bring up any pictures of the game. It brings up pictures of Super Meat Boy himself. Like, I'm talking about the game. Like, show me pictures of the game. Okay, so it seems like it might have been 720p. On maybe consoles, it might have been 720. Or no, maybe that's just the resolution of this picture. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can kind of see like how exactly they did it. And it's not, yeah, I could see like it's kind of similar. It's a little similar. It's kind of, my game is heavier just because I'm not as good of a developer. that's the first reason. And I still need to optimize the actual game, but this also should prove to be kind of a quicker, simpler solution that also should help other people in other games in the future. Okay, so this is good. This is not bad. I still don't really like that especially, but it's not bad. Did I do anything here? I didn't do anything. Okay, I didn't do anything in there. That's fine. So this is just drawing to the width and the height. That put, do this. Okay, so now let's see about testing this out. So what we're gonna do is here, we're gonna do bdx.display.downsample. We're gonna play it at 50% resolution. All you see is just basically it looks worse. It won't have any performance improvements here, but it would on other platforms, I think. I'll have to test it when I'm done. No Life says, would you say your shaders are the heaviest part of your end, or are there other factors? There are other factors. And yeah, you see it's kind of blurry. Yeah, it's not quite as crisp, but I mean, that's pretty good if the game looks basically the exact same, and it's just slightly blurry. I feel like, is it running at like 30 FPS or something? Okay, there it goes. Now it's smooth. Yeah, that's pretty much the exact same game. It looks almost the same. It's a little like warbly, but it's not bad. So I might allow like 75%, you know, like 80%, 60%, 50%, maybe specific like settings. But that's not too bad if you have like a laptop or something. Yeah, that's not bad. Cool. Okay, so the next thing, let's see. I was gonna do some other things too for optimizations. Okay, right. The shaders are heavy, but I allow you to like turn those off, so that's not really like the most important part. The most important part is, I think, that the way that I design the game world. I designed it pretty naively. Let me see if I can look this up. I designed it pretty naively, where basically each of these little blocks is a tile, you know, in the game world. And it all gets merged together for drawing, so it is more efficient than just drawing them like normally, but it still isn't as efficient as it could be. Each block has tiles on the sides, top, left, bottom, and front. The front ones being the ones you see. But a lot of these tiles like can be destroyed. I still need to do that. That actually shouldn't be too difficult. But in addition to that, it would be way better to delete the sides of the tiles and then just make a custom collision mesh using a plane, like manually hand draw it like this. So this would be way better on physics execution. This would be way better on rendering, because it wouldn't have so many tiles that are unnecessary. It's just something I have yet to do and still have been meaning to do. But it would take a pretty good amount of time, because I actually have to draw this firstly, but also unfortunately my game is very square, so that makes it a little easier. But that's basically what the collision shape of this room would dictate. Now I would have to do that for all the rooms in all the zones. That's how I should have done it. I did it the stupid way, which is just copying and pasting blocks everywhere, which is slow. So that's basically, I think that's what I would do and what I should do to improve performance. But before that, I'm trying other things to try to get out of doing this, doing all this to work myself, because it's quite a bit to do to get a hold of all these zones and, like, you know, manually do the collision of all these things. But it would be way better on physics. It would be way better on rendering. Yeah, so there's quite a bit that I could still do. So the most important part would be, I guess, designing your game world correctly, like in an efficient manner. Because if I did design it correctly and efficiently in the, you know, from jump, it probably would perform much better. Still not perfect on certain systems, I would imagine, but still, like, you know, it would be not even really too much of an issue for a lot of systems. So I was actually, like, talking to my brother about it, and he mentioned basically, like, making an add-on, a Blender add-on that specifically does this for me, deleting the unnecessary faces. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do anything to, like, manually wrap it, like manually create the collision faces, really. Well, actually, maybe I could. Maybe I could, actually. That would be worth the time and effort involved. It's not impossible. Maybe I could. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Then I wouldn't have to do it manually, and that would probably have quite the improvement. We'll see. We'll see indeed. And unfortunately, there's not really an easy way to, like, kind of test it to see, like, what would be a drastically faster method of doing this, because I still have to actually, like, delete all the faces and stuff. I guess I could try it though. I guess because most of these blocks are the same kinds of blocks. Like, this is one block. I think there's a one block variant of that block. There's this block. There's that block. So there's not too many blocks. Dirt and grass. So I might be able to actually just, like, delete, to just do a quick test and see if it, like, drastically improves performance, and if so, then it would be worth it to make that add-on. No Life says, I've been stretching out cubes into elongated rectangular shapes for grounds and walls. Yeah, that would be a good approach too. That approach is a little heavier than just, like, hand drawing it, but it's also a little easier. It's interesting because, like, in Game Maker or something like that, you would actually this approach probably would be fine if I had it set up like you would in GameMaker, where this would be a room, like a scene. This would be a room or a scene. Like if I did it like in GameMaker, like you would never put this entire game, or rather this entire zone in a single room in GameMaker, probably. So like having an easier method, kind of cutting this out into multiple individual scenes might be a good idea. That's the alternative. That also might work. Just be like, oh, let me just grab this and push this into another scene. Let me grab this and push this into another scene. Because then you have, you know, not nearly as many blocks in the game world. But then I have to kind of redesign the entire game to make it take advantage of this, because it's not really made to work correctly like that. Let's see. Lottie, my main man, how's it going? So yeah, like breaking it into multiple scenes would be better, and I still might do that, just because, you know, you only have to do it once or twice to have, you know, a significant payoff. Like I might just say, oh, let me just split off this entire like right half of the zone, or, you know, split it into thirds or whatever, because, you know, that's a lot less blocks in the game world. But I feel like the right way to do it would be to like draw the collision meshes, or just use blocks and just stretch them out like you mentioned, no life. But there's quite a bit of optimizations I still can do, and the ones I have planned are a little bit easier while I'm kind of mulling this over, and they can be applied to the engine itself, so it should be a nice improvement for everybody, or for everyone who uses the engine, as well as everyone who, you know, future games made in the engine. One of them was like multi-threading. I was thinking about doing some multi-threading stuff, so I could put, for example, the rendering process on a thread and put logic and physics on a different thread, which shouldn't be too much of an issue, I don't think. That's useful because a lot of lower-end computers, like they spend time on pushing data to be rendered. Well, it doesn't matter if you're waiting for the CPU. Well, wait. Yeah, you're pushing data to be rendered. Like that process can be kind of heavy on some computers. Your drivers also kind of come into play, and when it comes to like OpenGL drivers, if you have like really up-to-date, nice drivers, that's good, versus like old 2007 drivers, which operating OS X kind of seems to be outdated when it comes to OpenGL for some reason. Possibly, I have to look into it some more, but that's like preliminary examinations and asking on libgdx forums were they kind of turned up like, yeah, Mac drivers can kind of be like weaker for some reason. Maybe they're trying to push metal more so, not trying to keep up with OpenGL. Okay, so that's, yeah, I might try breaking it up a little bit more, putting things into their own scenes, which would require doors, because I can't really slide you from one scene to another very easily like that. So I might just put like all the inside stuff in a different door, or in a different scene, like all of this stuff. That might be something I do. But like multi-threading, this downsampling idea I had, that should be useful. I'll check it out on my laptop to make sure. What else? I also had an idea. What was it? Oh man, I don't remember. It was like downsampling. It was one other idea. So anyway, I have some ideas of like how I can optimize and kind of push things out a little bit more. As for bugs, surprisingly, I got someone who mentioned a bug about like running out of memory. He had 16 gigabytes of memory, and somehow it said that he ran out of memory, and I can't reproduce his bug, which is interesting. Like on my little laptop, that is 8 gigabytes of memory, not very powerful laptop, but it has 8 gigabytes of memory, no real issue. My dev machine, no real issue. So it's kind of weird. I'll see if I can reproduce it, or just get the memory to be less, like possibly scaly. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what his issue is. I have to examine it some more. Hopefully I can find it and figure it out, because I don't want anyone to crash I don't want anyone's game to crash because of out of memory errors. Like that's ridiculous. It doesn't use that much memory, so I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so that's good. Let's see. So downsampling works, that's good. I'll see if I can get that committed. And maybe to chill, let's go ahead and do some Sunvox stuff real quick. We don't need this. We don't need this. Oh, this is urine. We don't need this. And this is functional. Seems like it might be a good idea. I'll see about committing it later. All right, so let's see about making some music. Let me change this. Change my little stream information. Actually, I guess it might be nice to go back to a existing song and work on it. That might be cool. A good idea. Challenges. Let's see. Let's take a listen to some of these. Okay. That sounds pretty good, actually. Maybe we'll work on this one. That one actually did work on a little bit more. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. So chill. It's just, like I imagine that to be like a tutorial song. Like you're trying to learn like how to like push blocks or something, and that's the music in the background. Just kind of like a real chill, little beat. Let's see. No Life says, what was that voice? Is that synthesized or a recorded sample? It was my voice, just like pitched up and filtered, I think. Possibly distorted a little bit. Lottie says, alright homie, I'm sleep. Okay, thank you very much for stopping by, man. It's always nice to see everybody in chat. Actually, I kind of like this one. Feels kind of weird. Like it feels kind of like tense. I kind of like it. I think I'm gonna work on that one. Oh, this is a video game beat. Okay. This is the 80s one. In the zone. Yeah, okay. Alright, this is the one. So I was thinking, I mean, that 80s beat is like solid. It's a very good beat, but I kind of want to work on this one because I don't like this one as much. Let's see. I'm trying to think of exactly what this beat is. It's like. Okay, so it's kind of like a drum and bass kind of thing. Oh wait, here we go. Okay, that's kind of what I had in mind, but not quite. Yeah, so that doesn't really segue that well. I think we will actually cut it like that. Yeah, okay. This is kind of working. Let's see. It might be better if I didn't always do the same bass line, like. Yeah, it's a little better. No Left says, do you have any idea of how to produce a violin instrument sound in Sunvox? Do you mean like synthesize it, or do you mean like just get one by any means necessary? Because obviously you have samplers, you can load in synths that come with Sunvox. There's, yeah, violin synths. Ah, that's loud. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's. Yeah, that's, yeah, so. Alright, I gotta hear more of this. What is this? Because they're like, I see a whole bunch of options. I'm like, wait. Wow, what? Are you serious? This came out of nowhere. Oh my goodness, you hear this? I never used this instrument before. This comes with some. Oh, okay, it's clipping. Hold on. I think I want it with the reverb though. It's just dumb loud. Okay. Yeah, it's super loud. I don't know why it gets so loud, but this is really nice. And yeah, No Life says you're welcome. B Simao says, can you please not do a live stream at 5 a.m.? Unfortunately, I can't. No, I might actually, because I think someone else mentioned, like, I'm in whatever other country and it's like, 3 a.m. here or whatever. So it might be better for me to break up the times rather than doing 6 p.m. on both Monday and Friday. Either I add other days and times, or I do like 6 p.m. on Monday and like 12 p.m. on Friday or something. Maybe I'll do a video where I ask people for their opinion. All right, so there's different options here. I'm surprised. Okay, so we got piano, we got. This is weird. Okay, so you can tweak like the individual like ranges of each of these things. So that's really all you need. I gotta make that now. I literally do not have enough. Oh man, this is gonna be ridiculous. This is gonna be just like some stupid stuff. Yeah, it's gotta go to that one. So dun, dun. Whoops. Okay. It's quiet. Let's see. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything that controls the piano? Game Jam says, "Hey, Solar. Hey." Okay, it's the reverb that's doing that. All right, that's pretty good. Let's go with something like that. Let me record it. I can record it. Oh, Game Jam. Oh, okay. Game Jam says my Wi-Fi is too bad to watch right now. Sorry. Good luck with the song. Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry about it. I'm sure you can watch. If you want to watch, you can do so afterward on YouTube. All right. This is ridiculous. Alright, I like that. I like that a lot, dude. I guess I can record it. Nope, that was off. I feel like that was off too. Let me see. Alright, let's see. That was like exactly on time. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's see. Alright, this is like going somewhere. I feel like this is going somewhere hardcore. Philippe Giroux says, hello guys, hi. How are you feeling? Philippe. From 2 to 12. sampler. Philippe Giroux says, what do you guys think about the new way Steam publishes games? Steam Direct. Sorry if this question is off topic. Oh. Okay, sorry. My stream my stream always cuts out. I can't help it. Sorry. Okay, so Philippe Giroux says, what do you guys think about the new way Steam publishes games? Steam Direct. Sorry if the question's off topic. No, the question's not at all off topic. I think it's not really. I feel like most people want actual curation from Steam. I feel like that's what a lot of people want, and Steam's not doing that with Steam Direct. That's not what it's going to be. It's just going to be a method to get your game through. That's it, more or less. So I mean, like, if you want curation, you're not really gonna. Oh, this is entire time. This has been set to gaming. But if you want, let's go with music. Or wait, how to style, yeah. But yeah, if you basically want more like curation, you're not gonna really find that in Steam Direct, I don't think. If you really want more like of a walled garden kind of a thing, where it's like it's harder to get on Steam, you're not gonna get that with Steam Direct, not really. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't solve the problem that I think most people want solved, which is I have a whole bunch of stuff on my Steam front page and I'm not really interested in any of it, or Steam's being filled with shovelware or trash. I mean, whether that's true or not, that seems to be what a lot of people think, and Steam Direct isn't the solution to that. That's not what it's supposed to be, but it's not. So I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that, though. It's a solution for a different problem, which is, how do we just let through what's going to make money? That's basically what Steam Direct I think is mostly about. Forget Greenlight, forget getting a target audience or anything like that. Would it make money? If so, let's put it through. That's basically it, I think. So I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. It's fine, I guess, for what it is. Just a means to get your game through on Steam. Yeah, I guess I don't really have any poor thoughts or feelings on it. Let's see. So well. Cut it here, complete that. Let's see. So No Life says, call me naive, but I think good games will be found and played through word of mouth. I really don't know of any genuinely great games that fell under the radar and never got played due to obscurity. Philippe Giroux says, I heard about some great games that don't see the light. I follow many YouTube channels, some very small, that dig for hidden gems in Steam. So, yeah, I mean, that it's kind of hard because it's like, you know, whether a game gets played or not, a lot of it is whether it's good, but also about just like if it's popular at the time. Like you see a lot of like certain games get really popular in certain circles and get played, or just get really popular in general and get played. Like I don't think Darkest Dungeon, as an example, was the first game to do what it does, but it's the first one that I can think of that's what it is and is very popular. Like I can't think of another strategy game like that, like a side-scrolling, like dungeon crawling based strategy game. Well, I guess Legends of Grimrock is kind of similar in a certain sense, because it's grid based, it's kind of turn based. You have characters who have equipment, so I guess it is kind of like if it's good, if it's good, it's going to be popular, I guess, is kind of what it boils down to. Alright, well, I've been streaming for a while, so I think I'm gonna call it a day at this point. This is pretty good sounding. Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. That's. I'm gonna cut it. Call it here. No Life says, great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll call it here and pick up with another stream another time. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you did, it's always fun to stream and come up with new stuff. Try to come up with new stuff, and yeah, have fun. You too. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon, and this has been another game dev, well, game engine development and Sunvox stream. Thanks. See ya.